Good morning, guys. Today is Monday, October the 27th. I'm Jim Hicks, RCS Sports, and this is the video edition of the VIP News. Once again, we get right into it. This past weekend, Galen Robinson, many of you guys know him as G, took an official visit to Georgetown University. And of course, that is humongous in regard to the class because this Georgetown program, I don't think they've had a kid from Houston since back in the days of Cashmere when they had Victor Morris, Big Vic, from back in the late 70s. Remember, you guys remember him, some of you old heads. But anyway, G is the top-ranked point guard in the area. Played with Texas Pro during the summer. I caught up with him. Now, one thing I can assure you guys, I don't know what caught up with him right when he was getting ready to get on the plane. Actually, he was on the plane. The stewardess was like, cut the thing off. He's like, no, lady, look, I'm talking to this Jay Hicks. I got to let him know what's happening. So he kept on rolling regarding that, but good thing he did cut it off before. You know, he didn't get no problems in regards to the FAA or nothing. But anyway, back to G. He did not commit in regards to Georgetown. Now, however, it's fuzzy right now. I hadn't spoken confirming regards it had they offered yet because sometimes the kids can go on official visits and they can be using those kids. They can be serious or they can be using the kids as bait. And everybody that go on official visit doesn't commit or doesn't get offered. That's the trick. People think just because they go. Now, meanwhile, I told you guys on the VIP News of the website a couple of weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, when the head coach of Georgetown, John Thompson Jr., came into Houston and he really liked what he saw. Can't speak and can't quote him publicly because of NCAA guidelines about coaches. They are not permitted to make statements on prospects before they are signed. So I can't tell you guys in regards to what he said, but I'll tell you one thing. I'm a good friend of the family in regards, especially his pops, who's on the board with Nike, and let me tell you something. They really like this kid. So they're not wasting their money to bring him up there just so he can go take a sightseeing trip and go and pass by the White House and go and look and see and try to get a glimpse of Obama or President Obama or whatnot. They went up there because they're serious about it. But however, he did not commit. Me personally, I think the minute that they offer and the minute they get home and soak it in and talk with everybody, I really believe that this is the team, the school to beat. And I really think that G is going to be a Georgetown Hoya unless something just totally just falls through. So now, also this past weekend, other news that you guys, I will elaborate more about the Galen Robinson thing on the website. You guys can check it out, rcsports.com. Now, some other news that probably flew up under the radar this past weekend, and I really believe it's really, really huge news, and that is two former HISD basketball players committed to Rice. They're buddies, they're friends, they're teammates, and that is Marquez Letcher Ellis. Remember, you guys know him as Kez. Remember, he played for Yates High School 2 years ago, transferred over to Genesis Prep over on the East Coast. And also Josh Hall, who played at Bel Air High School, started and transferred over to Genesis Prep along with his buddy Kez. They committed to Rice. And I'm going to tell you something. This is humongous. Tell you something like this. To me, this make you feel, and I understand something. All due respect to Jeray Foster. That's humongous. That was a humongous catch who decommitted. But two, it's like getting two for, not necessarily 2 for 1, but it's like 1.5 for 1. You know, you say, about 75% of each one of them is about 100% of what Jeray Foster is. And understand something. We're projecting because I'll tell you, just because this knee thing, not everybody can bounce all the way back and supersede what they was before they had a knee injury. But Marquez Letcher Ellis and Josh Hall together in the same class walking in the door, and understand something, this Rice program, they also signed Marcus Evans. This guy, he's the point guard for Boo Williams this past summer. They ain't joking over there, right? Hey, I tip my brim to the whole staff. Now, the one guy who gets credit for closing the deal on these two young men, J.D. Byers. That's assistant coach over at Rice under head coach Mike Rhodes' staff. J.D. went and, of course, he connected with DJ Anderson. Now, one thing, you guys can say what you want about DJ. Of course, a lot of schools not mad, not happy with him. Some schools for I guess, getting the credit of encouraging those kids to leave those schools in the first place and head over to Genesis Prep. But I'm going to tell you something. Whatever you are mad at him about, you need to get the hell over with. Because I tell you one thing, DJ is the end result is these kids are coming back home. And they'll be able to go on Sunday, while they're going through their freshman tribulations, and they'll be able to go eat some good greens and cornbread at their own dinner table whenever they want to. It ain't no easy thing being a freshman nowadays, and with all of the rigors and demands of high school, of college basketball. That is humongous. Now, the one thing, I'll give you some insight regarding this Marquez Letcher Ellis thing. Now, remember one thing. His recruitment took a spike up during the summer. He played with the DC Premier summer team. And if you don't know what DC Premier is, they won the Fab 48. These dudes here, they used to be called DC Assault. They're DC Premier. Marquez was on that roster. So exposure was at a premium. That whatever they played at, it was 100+ college coaches during the whole July period. Ain't no doubt about it. So he's on the courts. I mean, indirectly, 100+ college coaches watching him every Wednesday after 5 p.m. to Sunday up before 5 p.m. That's when the live period extends. Now, 3 schools had an inside lane on Marquez Letcher Ellis. That was USC, DePaul, and TCU. Obviously, something must have happened to make all 3 of these schools on 3 different parts of the country pull back. Let's not make it seem like, oh, and beat the drum and say, oh, these guys here, you know, you can't make me believe that when Marquez Letcher Ellis and Josh Hall left Bel Air and Yates High School and voted for the East Coast, that if you told them, okay, y'all can go there for 2 years, but y'all will be signing with Rice in 2 years, they would have looked at you and wanted to slap the dog. You guys know they want to slap you for saying. So understand something. Sometimes my point is people's script, their script doesn't go exactly like you write it. And for some of you guys that are looking, some of you parents, guess what? The script doesn't always go like the ball doesn't always bounce in your recruitment like you want it to. Of course, unless your name is LeBron, Kevin Durant, Derrick Rose, something like it doesn't bounce that way. So with these 2, meanwhile, enough of trying to I guess implement the negativizing the situation. We're going to get back to the positive. Positive thing is they both are coming back home, and this is the jolt of energy that Rice so much needed for a local kids. They didn't get them from a local high school, but these are local talents. When they get to the program and they get to the media guy when they're freshmen, guess what it's going to say? It's going to say name, it's going to say height, it's going to say hometown. And know what it's going to say? It's going to say Houston, Texas, for both of those guys. So that's a props in regarding to Rice, props in regarding to DJ Anderson, and props in regarding to Marquez Letcher Ellis and his family, and of course Josh Hall and his family for wanting to come home to a good city and help be the part of something that could be special in regards to Rice recruitment. This sound like a Rice a promo ad or something. But anyway, it's not like that whatsoever. It ain't meant to be. But at the same time, it's giving credit where credit is due. And that is with these kids in this situation. Hey, don't forget, check the information about Galen Robinson. Check the information more about these kids in today's VIP news. See you guys tomorrow.